of a sudden, you notice that time has moved and you almost feel like your time has been wasted. Because sooner or later, just like this caterpillar, they start calling you out of your name. They may have started calling you beautiful or sweet or kind or handsome or you're my queen or you're my king. And then all of a sudden, something happens. And there's a shift, and it's not a shift in a good direction, but they start to belittle you. And with that belittling, you start to receive that. And instead of saying like this caterpillar, hey, that's not my name, I'm not yucky, I'm not ugly, something on the inside of you starts to accept that. And you know how a caterpillar like goes and it eats milkweed? You know what milkweed is? Milkweed is poison, really. It eats that poison, kind of, so that if any other predator or anything else goes to eat that caterpillar, they or whatever, they'll be poisoned, right? So you start to eat that. You start to eat that poison, and it starts to feed on the negativity. When you notice that starting to happen, where before you were strong, before you felt like you had it going on, as they say, you felt good about yourself. I'm a woman of faith, and so, I believe it's important for us to know what God says about us. But even if you are a person of faith and you know what God says about you, but just because someone or some people are saying negative things about you, you start feeding off of that instead of on what God says in His Word about you. There's that caterpillar. So they took it off of its path. And now it's hurt. It didn't start off in the same way that it's somewhere else now. It started off, I'm a caterpillar, probably singing, I'm on my way. I don't know where, but I'm going to get there. Just singing its little song, those legs just moving, moving around real slow, inching along, taking my time, getting to where I'm going. And then all of a sudden, it's stopped by these predators, by these people who don't even just appreciate this little green caterpillar, for what it is. If that's the color, there are different colors of caterpillars. And yeah, I know for some people, they're like, caterpillars, yikes, they just eat up stuff, and I get it. But let's go with the story. So they stop it. It refutes what they're saying, but it doesn't mean that it wasn't hurt. Have you ever had to refute what someone was saying about you, but deep on the inside it hurt, even though you stood up and you were brave and were like, don't say that about me. That's wrong. Don't call me that. That's wrong. Well, here it is. And it says, my maker did not call me that. My maker did not call me yucky or ugly. And that's why it's so important for us to know what God says about us, so that when the lies of the enemy start to come to try to speak something negative over your life, you can say, I don't accept that. Even if, it's hurting you, even if it's making you feel a little weak, you can still say, I don't accept that. I reject that. God said I'm loved. He calls me His darling. He says I'm His beloved. He created me to love me. And then what about those who went through some type of abuse? You started off one way and you just wanted to love, right? You got love inside of you. But yet the person who you loved didn't know how to appreciate you and the love that you were giving. Instead, they rejected it. They took it for granted. They didn't appreciate you. Maybe they did just like this. They dropped you from a distance. They hurt you physically. And I am so sorry if that happened to you. I'm sad about that. Or maybe it was mentally. Maybe it was something in the controlling. Don't go out with your friends. Don't go see your family. Stay here with me. Stay here with me. All of those things. And you just started to feel depleted. Maybe once they called you a queen and the next thing they were calling you a female dog. We don't know. But if that's you, you don't have to accept that. You are who God says that you are. And if you're not sure, I urge you strongly, go on Google, get a Bible app, and type in, what does God say about me? You'll see all kinds of wonderful promises that he says about you and your future, because God does have a future for you. So don't give up. So here the caterpillar says, it's wondering, I wondered if they wanted to destroy me on purpose. And it's sad for me to be able to say that there are some people in life who do want to destroy people on purpose. They have intention to do so. It says, because I did not look like them or act like them, that's where the bullying comes in. Many people are bullied. I was bullied as a child. I wrote that on my Instagram page. I remember vividly being bullied as a little girl. I remember the name that they used to call me, right? So I remember the things that the bullies did. I called myself the 3 S's. I was shy, I was small, and, I was going to say smart, but that wasn't the other S. Shy. I was, what was it? Shy, small, and I can't remember my other S, but there were 3 of them. It could have been skinny, because I was that too. But all I wanted to do was go to school and get good grades, right? I wanted to please my mom. And so I tried to do the best that I could. Math wasn't one of my favorite subjects at all. I liked reading and writing. I guess you can see that. And some science, just like my baby girl. But math was not it for me. But I did notice this. Whenever the teacher would say, Yadida, good job. Listen to me carefully. Those of you who have ever experienced this, back in the day, it was different from nowadays. You would get a note passed to you that said, meet me in the playground at 3:00. Now, you and I both know the reason that we were going to the playground. They were not inviting me to get on the seesaw or to get on the monkey bars or to play double dutch, which I really used to love to play. They were saying, I want to fight you. I'm going to beat you up, right? And you don't know, when I saw the letter coming out the corner of my eye, it was almost as if like my heart started to beat fast. Why me? I'm a nice person. I used to smile a lot. I still do. You can probably tell that I'm smiling right now. Used to love to smile, and I wanted to make people happy, please people. I think I was a pretty good friend. Sometimes I was a loner. Just because I just didn't like being in cliques or being, the bullies didn't want me around them anyway, but still. And so there I was, here comes this letter. See you in the playground, Yadida, 3:00. See ya, right? And I had to go through the playground in order to go home. That was the way that we left the building. So reluctantly, I would walk over, my head down. There would already be a group of people there because they just knew, you know how they were back in the day. A fight, a fight, a fight. People don't fight that way nowadays. They go and just do all kinds of other things that I think are terrible. But I'd walk over because I knew I had to do it or else I couldn't go home. And so I walk over. Now, check this out. Wasn't there always somebody in the middle? Those of you that remember this, those of you who don't, I'm going to paint the picture for you. There we are in the playground. Group of people standing around, waiting to see this fight. And there was one person, I think, who was with the bully, who stood in the middle. So here I am, either on the right, on the left side. The bully is on the other side. This person is in the middle of us. And so it usually was not me who did the first tap. This is what they did back then. So the bully would tap the person in the middle. The person in the middle would tap me. Then, let me see. Did I tap them? I just don't remember tapping them back, but I guess I tapped the person in the middle. They would tap the bully back, but that's really not how it went. It went like this. The bully would tap the person in the middle. The person in the middle would hit me. Then I would hit the person in the middle. The person in the middle would punch the bully, which would make the bully mad. And instead of both of us turning around to beat up this person in the middle, we ended up fighting each other. Now that I think about it, it really didn't make any sense. That's like the enemy, right? He gets in the middle of people and he starts instigating, because that's what that person in the middle was. They were an instigator, actually. instigator in the middle, and he gets people to hate each other, to fight each other, when really we should be going hard after him and not each other. But that's for another conversation. So here we are. This person punches me, right? And so now they step out of the way, and it's time for me and this bully to fight. And why are we fighting? All because the teacher said, Yadida, you did a good job, right? Or something positive. Or sometimes they just wanted to fight me. If I was, in dance, I used to like to take dance in gym, modern dance. And, they were just looking like, oh, she thinks she's better. I didn't think any of that. I was trying to get a good grade. I didn't want to get in trouble with my mom. So here we are. And the next thing that I would start doing, I don't know why I did this. Now that I think, I would start screaming. I was the kind of person who, before you saw the angry look on my face, you saw the tears. I cried first. That was just me. I cried for a couple of reasons. I cried because I didn't want to fight. I cried because my feelings were hurt. Why are they bothering me? I was crying because I'm a nice person. I smile. Why are they bothering me? I just want to go home. Why do I have to fight? And why is it that nobody's going to help? So I was crying for a couple of different reasons. I'm small. Here's a boy who wanted to fight me. Here's a tall girl. All of those things. Then I would start screaming, and I don't know why. I'm going to have to go look in the Bible. Was there a war cry? Was I doing a war cry? I didn't know anything. I wasn't saved or anything like that, but I would literally start to scream. So mad. But with each scream that I did, it was like the anger inside of me would increase with each scream, right? I gotta look that up, y'all. That might mean something. So I'm screaming now. And I remember this woman one time, she was across the street, and she came over and she said, well, y'all need to leave this little girl alone. Leave her alone, right? And then she left. They weren't paying her any mind. I wish she would have stayed and said, little girl, let me walk you. She left. Why'd you leave me, lady? Anyway, so I'm screaming now. And here we go. My brother and I used to fight as children, right? So there were certain things that I learned because of that. And I had a signature move. Do you know what my signature move was? Signature move? I had one. It was the headlock. A lot of people don't know what that is. So now I'm screaming. My adrenaline's up. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Now, back in the day, do you remember how people used to fight? They would close their eyes and they would just start swinging their arms wild with their eyes closed, hoping that they would hit and make contact. Sometimes I didn't even know I made contact until I opened my eyes and the person was on the floor. Right there. Floor, the ground. Then I would jump down there because I knew I got them where I needed them to be. And I would take my right arm and wrap it around their neck and just pull. I had him in the headlock. The fight was just about over after that. Do I know, how I even learned to fight like that? I don't even know. Because even when my brother and I would fight, I really wouldn't go hard because, he was bigger, he was older. But I had to fight, and I was so angry about that. I just didn't understand why people had to fight and do those things and why they were bullying me in the first place. Because I didn't look like them. Because I didn't act like them. And they had this name they used to call me. It used to hurt my feelings so bad because I couldn't change my facial features. It was like, why are they calling me that? And almost every day, same name. It was just like, why? Can I just go to school? Can't we all just get along, as the man said? And so I think about this when I think about this caterpillar. He's like, listen, they're going to destroy me on purpose because I didn't look like them, because I don't act like them. But why should I? Why should I? When God gave me different DNA, when he created me, to have a little bit of mom, a little bit of dad, a little bit of myself, just mixed up in these features. And I couldn't really appreciate my features back then. And believe it or not, that actually stemmed to a good portion of my life. I think when I got into, was it junior high? Later in junior high, definitely high school. I just thought I had it going on, really. But those comments that they used to make about me caused me to look at myself, to look at my face, to look at my features, and kind of say, I don't like that about me. I don't appreciate that about me.